Hi there. In this video, I want to talk about what is the cost of running an enterprise? What's the cost of running a social enterprise? So let's get straight into the video and look at what some of them are. Well, this cannot be an exhaustive list, obviously, but it will give you a very good idea of the kind of running costs you could be considering, or you should. Because somebody said, I don't like the word should. Okay. If I was you, I would consider the following costs as part of my thought pattern when I'm starting a social enterprise. So let's get into it. The first cost that a lot of people ignore this is your own living expenses. How much is it going to cost you to live? How much is your rent, mortgage? How much is it going to cost you to run your car? How much is it going to cost you for your own telephone bill? How much is your eating bill for the month, for the year? Whatever it is, how much do you actually need to live on? Very important. Don't ignore it like most people do. Again, the second cost, or could be a cost, is your staff cost. If you're employing somebody, you got to make sure that the money that you've agreed to pay them is there all the time. Well, I might talk about this a little bit more actually, which is how do you hire people. But one of the methods that you can use to get people to work with you is to pay a fixed fee or fixed wage as well as commission, or build some form of commission into the cost. And if people can work virtual, then that might be more ideal. People can work part-time. If people are retired, you might get a good deal. If people are living at home, they might be willing to take on a lower salary because their costs are lower. But as your business grows, you pay more money, whether they're living at home or not. You pay them more anyway, and you include certain kind of benefits that they otherwise won't get. It just depends. Just talk to people. Don't limit yourself, and don't think, oh, because I don't have money, I can't get someone to work with me. That's not true either, because there are people who may like what you're doing, or may just like you and may want to work with your idea because maybe they can relate to the social good that your business is doing and they want to be part of that movement. Or they can see that your business is going somewhere. Who would not have wanted to have worked with Amazon? If we all knew Amazon was going to become what it is, people would have been begging to work for Amazon. But here, there you go. Okay, so again, another cost is telephone bills. And before you know it, it racks up, how much you're paying every month. Travel or transport or delivery cost. If delivery is part of what makes your business work, for example, there was a social enterprise that buys set aside food from supermarkets and then they transport them and deliver them into people's homes. Well, you got to consider the transport cost, the delivery cost, marketing costs. It could be a big one. How much is it going to cost you to run your ads? Yeah, you're going to have to do ads. Listen, just because you're running a social enterprise doesn't mean that you suddenly are immune to some of the business expenses that the for-profit people have. You're kidding yourself. No, it's just as competitive. In fact, sometimes running a social enterprise could be even more difficult than running a for-profit business because you're trying to do good at the same time do well. I said sometimes. Doesn't have to be so. But do not think that you're immune from the expenses that for-profit businesses have. Sales cost. How much is it going to cost you? Even if you're using a referral system, the person referring needs to be paid when you get paid. So, and you don't want to bite the finger that is feeding you. So you better make sure that when you are being paid, you set aside their commission and you pay them. So sales do cost money. Or you could be hiring a sales team to go out and get clients for you. They need to be paid. So that could be a cost. Administration, particularly if you are not the one responsible for doing all the paperwork, you need to pay somebody. Well, my advice to you, get an accountant. Get somebody who can do your bookkeeping if that's not your strong point, but use an accountant. Just use an accountant. You know what? Oh my goodness. I've tried to do it myself, and I've used an accountant, and it's just worth it. It just takes the hassle away from your head. You don't have to be thinking about it. You don't have to deal with the HMRC in the UK. Particularly if you're running a limited company or limited by guarantee company or a community interest company, you need an accountant who knows what they're doing. They can save you money. I'm telling you, and they save you a lot of hassle. So, production and manufacturing cost. If your deliverable requires you to actually manufacture, well, you got to get it. And you need to be looking for, this is where it gets a little bit like, okay, am I thinking like a for-profit now, or am I thinking you still need to get your manufacturing costs right? Because if your costs are too high because you are paying people in quote unquote a fair wage, but you cannot transfer that expense to the buyers of your product, you're in trouble. So it's difficult. Let me just say it like that. It's difficult sometimes, particularly if you're manufacturing products. Maybe you want to pay a fair wage to, all right, let me say it like this. Some of the brands right now, at the time of recording this, okay, some of the brands right now that are social enterprises paying fair wages and are using recycling products and handmade products, some of those products they're just out of the range for most people. Most people cannot afford it. Most people cannot buy that product, as good as it is and as economically sound and sustainable as those products are, in terms of the fact that they lower the carbon footprint, they're not degrading the earth, and they're helping to revive economies and all. I know that, but I'm telling you, it's just, most people cannot afford it. Some of the jackets and some of the clothing that some of the, fair trade organizations are producing, they can't afford it. People cannot afford it. So the likes of the Primanis and the other companies will be around for a while until the technology catches up and people can actually afford to transition to start making ethical purchases. Because some of the ethical purchases that, the idealist wants people to buy, they cannot afford it. So, hey, there you go. So you have to make a decision. If you don't get your target market right, you'll be producing products that people cannot afford. So, but if you get your marketing right and you are targeting a specific niche that has the money to pay for those products, then you're laughing. You can just transfer the cost to them because they appreciate that cost and they would prefer to pay it than to buy a cheap product that's going to, they're going to have to discard very soon and have to buy another one. Okay, so just a thought there, right? Packaging is important. If you want to use good packaging, you don't want to use plastic, then you might sometimes have to spend a little bit more. Having a website could be important to your business, but please, before you build a website, make sure that it's a website that it's going to deliver for you. Either it's going to get you clients, it's going to promote your business, or it's really going to change the game. If not, just set up something very simple, because sometimes all you need is just a website. Okay, let me not go there. Right, okay. Just don't spend too much money on it. All right? Especially in the beginning, until you know what your clients want and you're really creating a product that your clients would really appreciate and they're willing to pay for. Rentals. If it's costing you money to rent a place or it's costing you money to rent a car, you need to consider that. And then sometimes, because of the kind of business you're doing, you're purchasing capital equipment. Be aware of the cost and make sure that it's all covered in your own budget. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've said some things that are a little bit controversial and somebody might think, oh, Boomy, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I'm giving you my opinion and my experience of what I've seen in people's lives and what I myself have been through. So if you have any comments, do comment below, and do like this video if you like it. If you like it, share it, and if you like it, do subscribe to the channel. At the time of recording this, I'm producing one video every day, and yeah, who would like to know your thoughts? All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. God bless.